inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, if that people knew their glorious past, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
The Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we must stand together and be counted, because people look to us for guidance, leadership, and protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job. Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose. Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage. We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
All right, welcome to another season of Manifestations 2020. So glad to be back. We've been off the air for a little minute. As you guys know, I had to relocate from South Florida to Tampa. So in the transition, it was through the holidays. I figured that we'll give everybody a nice time to sit back with their family. Embrace the fact that you made it through 2024. If you made it to 2025, man, it's a blessing, man. So many people have transitioned along the process of even trying to make it to that finish line of the next year. So, my condolences out to everybody out there. My condolences out to the people right now dealing with the fires in Los Angeles. But we just wanted you guys to appreciate the quality time around the holidays with your family. So that's why we took a little longer break. Additionally, with me setting up what I had to set up here in my new home that I love so much up here in Tampa. With that being said, man, I missed you guys, man. What's up, man? Let me know what's going on. It's been about 3 weeks, so what's the haps, man? Fill me in.
What's up? Yeah.
We back.
Yeah. There it is. There it is. Hey, man, I missed y'all too, man. Shout out to Ant. Shout out to Bobby. Congratulations to your new home, brother. We're very
Appreciate
happy.
it, man.
You moved in, got settled. You know what I'm saying? That's a beautiful thing, man. And
we love what you've done with the place.
Facts.
Yeah. I still in the process. So until I get everything situated behind me, we're gonna get the substitute in right quick.
Amen. Amen.
That's what's up, man. So what y'all been up to? Everything good with y'all? Family good? Everybody good, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Man,
what about you, Bob?
Everybody's doing well. Everybody's on point so far, man. Really, look, I've been telling people this since about late September, October, but I just got a real good feeling in my bones. I know there's all kind of janky stuff happening with the fires on in California over there. I know that the other half of the country is pretty much an igloo, but I just in my bones have a really good feeling about this year. I just feel like a lot of people are going to start really, a lot of crops that have been planted, a lot of good work, a lot of good effort that's been put in. I really feel that a lot of people are going to be breaking ground and really starting to bear some fruit this year. So I'm just looking forward to all the people that I'm going to see that's going to start thriving, a lot of transitions, a lot of elevation that's going to take place, man. I'm excited for it. And I feel like I'm going to be right there in the mix with it too. So we all trying to get to this mountaintop, man. And my whole philosophy is don't meet me there, beat me there. I want to pull up and y'all already got the housewarming party in full effect.
Exactly. Well said. So I appreciate you guys, man, so much, man. I'm glad we're here. We're ready to bust it off. We have a special guest with us tonight. Definitely a super dope guest. I just found out about this guest through Bobby. So I'm going to let Bobby introduce her because she's in backstage waiting now. I didn't know she was going to come this early. I think last time she told us like 9, which was good. But hey, she's here early. That's even better. So I'm going to let Bobby, you go ahead and introduce our guest and I'll bring her up on stage.
Absolutely. So this sister is a phenomenal dynamo. And I can feel in the back talking about like, who's he talking to? Not me. But this sister, I came into the knowledge of her last year, and she had this phenomenal platform on Instagram called Affirmations for Black Men. And true to the name, true to the purpose, you know, she has been taking upon herself to go ahead and put out content that is refreshing, invigorating, revitalizing towards supporting and generally showing appreciation, love, and care for brothers. And, you know, and tip my hat to the women and the people out there that are out there making content specifically for men in general, you know, because, you know, there's a worldwide need for it. But this is to decide to set herself apart. And we know that we've had this issue when it comes to business or media or entertainment, where a lot of people are afraid of, you know, drilling down into the black because they're afraid it's going to, you know, isolate them. It's going to cut off opportunities for them, or they're not going to be as marketable. But this sister decided she's going to stand 10 toes down on business and make it a point to declare that this is for black men. And a number of her videos where she's personally in there, she'll even say, you know, this is for black men. So if that's not you, go ahead and find a black man that needs to hear this. So she's unapologetic with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know that's been us from day one. We've all been all about being unapologetic with our blackness and really representing that to the fullest.
Yes, sir.
And she's at a point where she was pretty much doing it solo, but she's been networking, connecting with other like minds. She's brought brought other content creators into the space to go ahead and leave their own affirmations for brothers. She's been on podcasts and shows, really putting herself out there. And in 2025, I want to see this sister and her platform go to the next level. You know, there's all kind of platforms, unfortunately, that are getting views, getting bread, getting paid off of anti-Black misandry and anti-Black male content. You know, they just diminish Black men into just objects. How can we use them? How can we make a come up off of them? And even just berating and denigrating us. But there's not too many in this space doing what she's doing. There are some, but there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And this sister said, you know what? I see the need. I'm going to meet the need. I'm going to roll up my sleeves, get to it. And it's been beautiful, man. So without further ado, I don't want to take too much of the rug out from under. So ladies and gentlemen, we present none other than the one, the only Nicole Glass.
Yeah. All right. Welcome.
Welcome, sister.
Thank you. I'm sorry I came early. I just wanted to pop in and like see the whole podcast, but I'm glad that I'm here. Thank you so much for having me and inviting me. I loved the beginning of your video because that is like why I'm here, why I'm doing what I'm doing. You know, we can't go anywhere without each other. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh, definitely. I was very blown away by the content that you had on your page. And you have acquired 172,000 followers, which is pretty dope because being unapologetic, sometimes people kind of fend away from it, don't really want to support it, but it just goes to show that your content really is a need out here. And there's a lot of people that gravitate and appreciate what you do. And we as Black men appreciate it because we already know there's there's always been a gender dividing narrative out there. And a lot of people participate in it. So it gives us more and more distance away from who we should be, which is being together and formulating that masculinity and that divine femininity, which is so powerful. That's what moved mountains back in the 1920s. So trying to get back to that mindset, it feels real good when you have sisters out there that say, hey, let's cut all the foolishness out. Let's start to appreciate our men. And in the process, the men are they're gratified by that. They appreciate that. And they also embrace the women that appreciate them as you and other fellow women out there. Because I see one sister that you reposted on your post that was like, hey, you know, this ain't for you, let me talk to the kings out there. And she started speaking life into the kings. So, you know, all the sisters, there's more sisters, to be honest, there's a lot more sisters out there breathing life into Black men than the ones that we see bashing and belittling Black men. So, you know, much props to you for what you do. And it means a lot. And it just says a lot that a lot of people are gravitating and sharing your videos, because I see a lot of shares as well. So spreading that information out there to dissipate the vitriol against Black men and Black women. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you. It was like a big part of it was because I feel like we don't control our media and we don't control our message in America. And so like a lot of the love that we see is like struggle love or love associated with painfulness or, you know, just like disgruntled stuff. And so one of my main ideas with the page was to create a connection that Black men, you know, can look forward to, you get excited about, because I feel like a lot of the connections that we see on TV or on the internet or even sometimes within our own family are like, well, here, damn, take it. Like, you know, they try to serve us on the plate. It's like, here, damn. You know, and it's like, oh man, like it doesn't look too appetizing. You know, so trying to make it, you know, like, hey, there's something different. And I'm really excited that Black women are starting to gravitate it towards it more too, because it could really raise the energy, you know. So
Exactly. And I do want to get into a couple of the affirmations that I seen on your page that I took off. And then you can just basically dial down into it and tell us what made you choose these quotes. Black man, healing is not a weakness. It is the ultimate strength. Prioritize your well-being.
Yeah. Oh, I love that one. I think that I don't know why, but there's been a lot of shame revealing that you're unhealed or that you're unhealthy, and people don't like to admit it to other people, let alone themselves. And so, you know, my priority with quotes and affirmations like that, you know, it's normal for all of us to not be okay after all of this. You know what I mean? Being raised by people who are raised by people who are raised by enslaved peoples for hundreds and hundreds centuries, like hundreds of years. And so like the mental effect of, you know, being raised by a generation of people who weren't valued, right? We're cattle. It's like it will eventually trickle down to you. And so, but I think the first step is, you know, admitting that there needs to be healing, and that you deserve healing, and there's no shame around trying to heal, and you deserve to heal, and we all deserve to heal, because I think a lot of us don't even recognize that there is a completely different energy that exists that we can live in. And when we've lived in households of a particular energy, and then communities, like blocks and neighborhoods of a particular energy, you think that you live in a bubble, and you think that that's all that exists because that's everybody you know. But in fact, there's even different energy that exists that we can all tap into individually first. And so my hope with my page is that I can make it a desirable thing, that people, you know, want to do it.
That's dope. That's dope.
Beautiful.
What you guys think about the quote?
Oh man, it's so powerful. Like most of the content on your page is crazy powerful, and like as soon as I see it, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I want to thank you personally for like developing this page, and like Anthony said, being unapologetic, because when I go on there, I look forward to seeing what you're saying. You know what you said lately, what you're doing new. I look forward to it, as opposed to, like you just said, on a lot of these other pages where women talk about men, you're like, oh God, what is this bird brain going to say? I don't get none of those vibes when I go on your page. I'm very happy about what you're posting and the reactions that people are getting from it. What does bother me is a lot of the vitriol that I see people, particularly some sisters, don't like, you know, some of the stuff that you post on your page, and I'm scratching my head like, how can anybody not like this? But I'm sure you're well aware, you know, I'm sure you've gotten some of the slurs, the pick me this and the whatever. And like, you know, it just makes my head explode that, you know, talking about men in a positive light is looked down upon in any capacity. It's insane, but that's where we are. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I think it's even more necessary that we have more voices like yours out here. That's a powerful quote. You have a powerful voice, and you keep smacking them upside the head because we got your back. Like you and Erica Lachey and the other sisters that's out here that's really holding it down for the brothers. Like, yo, anytime I see somebody in your comments talking smack, I'm gonna bang on them. Like I'm gonna be unapologetic, and I'm gonna hand them their ass. Real talk, because I get tired of hearing people attack the real sisters. You know what I'm saying? The sisters that's down. That's the last. Nobody should be able to touch them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we should go out of our way to make sure that, you know, nobody harms them, and that they're able, you know, to be themselves and speak their message in all of its glory. You know what I'm saying? So like we got your back. You keep doing what you're doing, and like real talk, as we grow, because we're growing too, as we grow, that's also, we'll also act as, I'm sure it'll be vice versa, but we'll act as an insulation, you know, because a lot of y'all sisters be getting attacked out here. I see you getting attacked. I see Erica Lachey getting attacked. And it's like, okay, that, you know, some of the brothers, you know, they that are positive and that really would have your back. Their platforms ain't there just yet, but like, yo, we got your back and we coming. So yeah.
Real talk. We got your back. That's part of our protection. You know, when we talk about protecting Black women, we have a lot of guys that do that, and that's a narrative that a lot of people spew that is very false. Black men don't protect Black women. There's a lot of Black men who are locked up or no longer on this earth by protecting Black women. And, there's men that have been harmed protecting Black women and still will protect Black women because that's in their nature to do it. Some men are just built like that. And we're built like that. So anybody that we see out here attacking somebody that's being a beautiful soul and just doing what's right and logical, we're going to protect you. That's our mission and that's our job. And that's what we're going to do.
Thank you. Thank you. I think at first I was really feeling attacked when people were like either hating or coming for the page or what I was doing. But I started like reframing it a little bit more. And I think that it just, when love bothers someone's spirit, it's like a magnifier of whatever that person is going through and the trauma. Like they don't even realize it themselves when love bothers someone, and understanding and authenticity and transparency. Not to say everything I've posted has been perfect or in alignment and like the perfect message ever, but I'm even learning myself out loud. And when I'm in these podcasts, sometimes I'm feeling uncomfortable when things are being said. Because, healing isn't always comfortable, especially when you're doing it with, your mirror, other men and other women. Sometimes you hear things that trigger you and all these different things. And I just even from the start of my journey, there was a lot of hate coming from white people who were like, okay, this is reverse racism. I had a lot of those comments, and then more brothers started just attacking them and they quit. And then
that's what it is.
Disappeared a couple years ago. I'm so happy.
That's what it is.
A couple Black women are like, why aren't you doing this for us? Or you should be doing affirmations to Black women too. And then I just posted a picture of all of the tools and resources under hashtag empowering Black women. It was 1 million different posts. And then empowering Black men was 200 posts. The ratio, compared to the content that was needed over here. Really a drastic difference. And I'm just going to stick here for a little bit. And then plus, there's something beautiful about us coming together to heal together and it not just being a one thing. And there's just also a language being spoken when, Black women can cater to men and can speak softly, gently, and listen, try to understand, build trust. This whole thing has been about building trust between a large community of Black men and giving them, consistent feeling every single day where they feel heard, understood, loved, and respected. And just continuously showing up that consistently, because it took a while before my community was all right, we really rock with this, because there was a lot of skepticism at first, even from Black men. Didn't think it was real, didn't think I was going to continue to do it. It was a lot of, but then built that trust, and I'm really happy with where the page is going and where it's headed. And I thank you guys for your support.
Oh yeah, definitely. I love the fact that it's just taken off, and like you say, the disparaging ratio of how Black women, when you look at the support that Black women have, it's a numerous amount of support, whether it's governmental to local. There's so much support for women, but it's not really like that for men. Even with single men, fighting for resources for you being a single father is a little bit more tedious than it is for a woman. So even in those aspects, a lot of Black men go through a lot. And what you're doing really, and why people are gravitating to it, is you're creating a safe space, which is the elephant in the room. When men talk about peace, that's part of peace, because they could go there and just reading your words is just refreshing. It's like stepping into a room of fresh air that you normally are around toxic environment with fumes. So stepping in there, people will sit there and scroll through your posts all day. And those words are so powerful. They actually build up self-esteem, which is one of the things that why we created this platform, is because we have a lot of men running around here that have low self-esteem and don't have that much pride behind them. And when you don't have any pride or self-esteem behind you, you'll tend to be more suicidal, which leads off into the Black men are more suicidal than any other gender out there, or men, period, are 3 times more likely to commit suicide. So when you look at those numbers, you start to see that as much as we tried to be tough on the exterior, in the interior, we're dying. And it's like we have nobody to express ourselves to. And when we do that, sometimes it gets thrown up in our face. So the barbershop is the place that we find safe haven for. Sometimes it might be the strip club, as wild as that be. That might create a peace in itself. So when people start to realize like what Black men are going through and the spaces that we need to be who we are, or just to even linger in there without even saying anything and just feel comfortable, those are the things that we gravitate to. So that's part of the reason I think that it is elevating to the level that it is elevating to. So I definitely wanted to say that. And I wanted to show the second affirmation that I got off your page, which was the affirmations of this powerful day. I honor my healing journey. I release pain and welcome peace. I deserve to feel whole and free. And I thought that was so super dope. You gave 3 of them that anybody could read that and just say to themselves, I need a change, especially starting off the year. Those 3 right there are powerful because those 3 can lead into a very promising year for you if you follow those 3 powerful affirmations to help build yourself along this journey that we call life, that can be very stressful, especially for a male and a Black male at that. So yeah, I definitely took that off, and very, very powerful. So I wanted to highlight that as well.
Thank you. Yeah, affirmations are so important, and I didn't even realize for myself how much like negative thoughts I had. And I think a lot of us, sometimes we're not conscious of our own self-talk, or sometimes our self-talk is like the talk of our parents or our household. And we don't even realize that we can reprogram those thoughts and we can speak to ourselves differently, more encouragingly. But when the world is speaking to you in a particular way, harshly, with no empathy, with, just like kind of like whatever, like here, like I was saying, like here, damn, like whenever love is being served, it's like here, damn, it's like that type of thing. It's really hard for you to, kind of be a silo and block all that out and start to create your own thoughts and the way that you talk to yourself. But it's really, really important. So that's why the I statements are there.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely powerful. And I have some videos because a lot of people probably not familiar with your page, but I want to go through these videos and you give us your synopsis and your thoughts behind it to give more clarity for our audience as well, so they could see how dope your page really is. So I took a couple of videos off of there, and let's go through them real quick.
Every single Black person that you see is a walking miracle. You're looking at a miracle right now, and so am I. Because for each generation of people that had to survive, all the things that they had to survive that made it possible for us to even be born, we are a miraculous people, each and every one of us. So if I was an ancestor, I would remind that baby first, if they didn't already know, your whole existence is a miracle. You have this unique set of capabilities, mind, physical form, all these things. You have this one life right here. Don't waste it. Don't waste it thinking about what other people are perceiving you to be. Just like really get in here, acknowledge and accept that you are a miraculous human being and you deserve to go live out your potential.
All right, so I grabbed that video because it really popped on me when she said that. It was like everything I used to say on the podcast or even speaking to these young adults, and I would tell them, I said, look, you should never feel at a point where you feel like you're not worthy, you're not worth being here, or even having suicidal thoughts, because you got to understand you were born a winner. You competed against a million of your siblings to race through a dynamic speed course to get to the egg to fertilize in order for you to be here. Just by that in itself, you 1 out of a million, you have better odds playing the lotto and winning the lotto than to be that one sperm that fertilized the egg. So, just knowing that you already won a major battle. Everything out here is minute. You can overcome it. And you have a purpose. There was a purpose why you were the selected one to come into this realm of earth. The one that was able to be created through the womb and enter through this portal. And for you to not understand how powerful that is really something that you should grasp onto. So when she said that, and she said about the ancestors, I was blown away, because it was everything that I was speaking. She was just elaborating more on that in a different way. And I really, really appreciate that.
Yes. I think that, like, I reposted that video from a podcast that I listened to, and I was like, this is absolutely amazing. And like, we have if you were African American, or just even like African from all these other, the Caribbean and all these other spaces, the UK, you had ancestors who literally walked through hell. You know what I mean? For generations, walked through hell because they believed that there would be hope for the future, and you're the hope. Like, you're the hope that I stayed alive for you. I went through hell. I endured all this pain, all this suffering for us, so we could exist, so we could breathe, so we could continue to truck forward. And what's absolutely like amazing to me is that we are living in a community we've kept our spirit. Like, they couldn't take our spirit. The spirit of African Americans breathes through the music, the creativity, the swag. You know what I mean? It's absolutely incredible, because they took so much, and so how strong of a people must we be? And like, if we were able to, and I believe, blood, we're the same person that did this 400 years ago, because their blood is still in our DNA. So that strength, that pain, that armor, those are superpowers, in my opinion, because like, look how amazing African Americans are. Like, we really, like, the world is constantly watching us. Like, we're supposedly a minority in this world, and we have the world obsessed with us, despite how much they tried to do to break us down. How powerful must we be? If we're still that, about chips. So I loved what she was saying, because I'm just like, this is historic. Like, there's really no other people that could have did it like this and not have been absolutely decimated.
Yeah,
exactly. Well said.
Yeah, sister, you hit that one out the park. People really, really don't realize how phenomenal of a people we are. So I love it. I get excited when I hear people talk that way. Like, yo, talk that talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hold back. Put your chest in it. Talk that talk. Because at the end of the day, like you say, the whole world mimics us.
Yes.
Everybody want to be like us. And then at the same time, they turn around and talk all type of smack about us as though they hate us. And it makes you wonder, like, is it because they can't be us? Don't hate me because you ain't me. You dig? But this is what happens, when you get out here and you are the face of resilience. Like, we are the worldwide face of resilience. That has to mean something. You understand what I'm saying? So it's beautiful. It's fantastic. The movement, it's a whole movement now.
Yes.
Interesting that you mentioned and you spoke on the affirmations individually. There's the videos, and then, there's the whole conversation, but the affirmations individually. I posted this in a group, and, there were some Negro naysayers, as Boyce Watkins likes to call them, that, they were like, hey, you know what? Who needs to hear all that? Like, it's no big deal. I don't see, again, why anybody would talk negatively about these things, but just because it doesn't necessarily work for you, and there's a conversation to be had about that. Some people don't need that, right? Or so they feel. But just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean that it's something that you should look down upon, because it's no telling how many additional people it is working for. And you know, I had to kind of check him on that. Like, you know, don't go putting that energy out there. Like, this is something that's positive, that's being put out there specifically for you, a Black man. There's no reason that you should have anything negative to say about it, you know, unless there's something incorrect that's being said. You understand what I'm saying? But there's that. And then there's one other thing that you talk about that really, really reaches out to me too. And that's when you talk about healing as a strength. I think that's extraordinarily important because as a people, you know, we're some of the people who need therapy the most, some of the people who need counseling the most, and would never think to go sit our ass down in somebody's chair and start talking, you know, until it's absolutely too late and you about to snap and do something to somebody. You feel me? And so I like that, you know, it introduces those themes to people, you know, things that you may not necessarily be thinking about. It's like, you know what, maybe I need to go make that trip. You know, maybe I need to go sit down and talk to somebody. It makes you, your page and the way that you're putting this forth, I feel is something that's really causing people to reflect. And that's something that we very seldom do. We very seldom reflect because we always running, we always hustling, we always on the grind, and that can be good. But you gotta take some time and reflect and kind of look under the hood and see, okay, what part of me am I not caring for? You know, and you have a very feminine energy, which is rare to see online, and it's great and refreshing because that is why it's so imperative, you know, for men to have ladies in their lives. Let it be their mother, their sisters, their wives, whatever the case may be. Even if it's not somebody that you're dating or whatever the case may be, just having women around because there's that energy that women bring that we just don't naturally have, you know, and part of that is something that will make you reflect and just kind of, you know, take a softer approach to things. It'll be hellfire and brimstone if everything left up to us. You know what I'm saying? But I really think that's necessary, and we appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bobby, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna add like the logo. I don't know if you guys seen like the affirmations, like the crown on the Black man with his hair and his beard. And so like that goes into the point of like I wanted my logo to be an affirmation of Black men to consider themselves to feel like royal, you know, to feel royalty, to feel special. And I truly do believe that we as a people are very, very spiritually special. I think that, you know, the world that we live in, this is all just like a test for like our true character, like things that you cannot take, our true spirits. And I believe like the spirit of Black men who have like some of like the hardest journeys, you know, like human beings can imagine, and like so much psychological trauma, and are still able to like be in awe, you know what I mean? Like be so beautiful and like represent themselves so beautifully, so like royal, like it's royal to me. And so that's why I try to, you know, with my logo, I have like the crown and like the hair and like the stance of like, and then I have my phrase, my catchphrase is like, you are already him, because so many brothers feel like they are chasing or are trying to become him. And when you take away all of the physical things, right, all of the material things, and you strip people down to their spirits, their aura, their light, you know, and you look at everybody around the world and you look at Black man, like the Black man, and, you know, and you're just like, oh my God, oh my God, like this man is like, he's really him. And so like, I really wanted to project and tell the stories of Black men in a way where people could truly see him stripped down from all that other stuff that people prioritize over other human beings, and be like, but wait a minute, let's like break it down, because this is the real image. Like you're not seeing it. And hopefully help other sisters see as well, other Black men, because I feel like there's like this disrespect that happened between Black men and Black women that is very, very harmful. Like the reason why Black women are safe in this country is because there is a fear of what Black men would do. You know? there is a protection. Like we were just talking about, Black brothers do protect us, you know? So they're like, I really want us to be careful of how we talk about each other online, because we're not the only ones listening. We're not the only ones looking. Like y'all are bringing your problems. Like words are very, very powerful. Like that's why words are in the Bible. Like words are spells. You're casting spells over these people. You're wishing down on them, or you're talking negatively about them 99% of the time. And you're creating this energy, right? When he has all this other stuff that he has to deal with, you know? So imagine if we flipped it and we talked positivity and we talked strength and we gave him this energy of respect. Do you know what that man would do to uphold that?
Come on now.
You know what that man would do to protect that?
Right.
It's cherished, you know? So hopefully that's what I'm teaching, and we'll see.
Yes. You're doing a phenomenal job. And I was before I quit, I was asking Bobby why he's so quiet. Bobby, he the one brought you in the game. Like, well, what's up, Bob? What's popping, man? Say something. Holla.
Look, I'm just over here like Farrakhan, just proud, just watching this. Look at her beaming in all her glory. Look
I know,
at
right?
her.
She beaming
Look
over
at
there.
her.
Yeah.
I told y'all before. I do my thing. When I see chefs cooking, I get out the way. I let the chefs do their thing. I don't bother the kitchen. But I do have some questions just so we can dig, because it's been great hearing your mind on the off the cuff. But do have a few questions about you and the platform as well. So first thing, I think it's only right, because you know, this wasn't always a thing. So when did you recognize this void that exists for Black men? And then what was your moment where you decided, okay, this is something that I need to get to work on?
Honestly, I just recognized the void within myself. I didn't feel confident. I didn't really feel valuable within the spaces that I was occupying and the people that were around me. And so I started therapy for self and started building on my own self-confidence. And I quickly realized that I had Post-its all around my house with affirmations. I would say affirmations in the mirror. And I quickly realized that that was building me up. I was doing something to build myself up. And so as soon as it started working, at first I didn't believe it when I was affirming myself, like, you know, you are loved, you are special, you are smart, you're capable, you know, like continue to invest in yourself. You got this. Like at first it felt like corny. And it didn't really feel like, so anybody who like is looking at these affirmations and your first reaction is like, this is corny. Same, you know, but I didn't realize that like I was literally reprogramming myself, and I was reprogramming my thoughts. And then I started being more conscious of the music that I listened to, being more conscious of the content I was putting across. And I started like filtering my reality and then the people that I was around, and then protecting the energy of where I felt the safest. My whole life started transforming. It was like actually insane. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is really powerful. And then the more baggage that I just like dropped off and stopped carrying, I felt lighter. I felt like it was like so crazy how constricted I felt. I felt like I was in a box, and then I just started just flourishing, you know? And I was like, man, I really want to do this for my community. And so I started doing, because I believe that like, I just want to be a help and of service to my community and as much as I can. And so I started doing affirmations for Black men and Black women at first for like the first 2 weeks. And then Black men just were communicating to me like, this is something we've never seen before. What is happening? They were like, whoa, like I'm saving this. I'm listening to this every single day. I need you. This is crazy. Like they were going crazy. Like this was about 2.5 years ago. And so there was like this was maybe like right after the pandemic, and there was like a lot of back and forth discourse. And this was when it was really cringy to tell men that, you know, you appreciate them or you love them, or nobody was really doing it, you know? And so I just started doing it, and they were like, this is actually insane. I've never heard a Black woman tell me this. And then there was one video that went really viral, but it was this one comment of this one Black man said that he was going to kill himself if he hadn't seen my video. Like he had no hope of anything. Like he was like, I was about to kill myself today, and I came across your video, and I just want to let you know that because I saw this, I didn't. You have given me what I didn't know that I needed. And I was like, after that comment, I was like, I think this is like he doesn't even know, but he's the reason why I just started affirming Black men, period. And my priority because it had, impacted him that much. So that's why I started affirming Black men. Because I just didn't know that it was that needed. Yeah. I forget more to the question, but
yeah.
You knocked that out the park, sister. You knocked that out the park.
Yeah, you got to understand, even in this world, you got vocal people and you got people that's silent, that doesn't say anything. He was just one of them that was vocal. There's so many that you probably saved that weren't vocal. They'll never come out and say that because they might be ashamed that they hit that low of a bottom. And even to tell a stranger that, they just didn't feel comfortable. But the guy who was vocal probably felt like, I need to tell her this because she needs to know how important this is, not only for me, but the other people that have came to this level, this low level, and it rejuvenated them and propelled them to the opposite side. So definitely.
And listen, don't let nobody, this is what really, you seem like a very nice person, and that's wonderful. You know what I'm saying? But like, this is why it's important. You know what I'm gonna say. You know what I'm gonna say, right?
There you go.
This is why it's important that, like, we got brothers tuned in, we got brothers locked in, because people will come at you and try to tell you what you need to be doing. Well, why are you not doing for Black men and for Black women? That wasn't what you wanted to do. That wasn't your particular calling. And like you say, there's 1,000,001 resources out here for Black women. You understand what I'm saying? But nobody has the right to complain that you're not talking about Black men and Black women. If that's what if that's what you were called to do, and that's what feels right to you, then you do what you gotta do. And the hell with them. You know what I'm saying? And like, don't be afraid to tell nobody you go to hell. Don't be afraid to do that, because sometimes people need that. Because everybody online, online is where, unfortunately, a lot of people's unresolved traumas rear their ugly ass heads. You understand what I'm saying? And people can say pretty much anything online without any real consequences. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no threat that somebody gonna smack you in your goddamn mouth online. You understand what I'm saying? So unfortunately, which is why they'll come at you like that. But if you know what you're doing and it feels right and you're standing in your purpose, and you got people, for crying out loud, telling you that you saved their life, literally. Who are these people to tell you anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, and don't be scared to check them. You know what I'm saying? And if you have a problem checking them, you can send them to us. We'll check them for you. Like, that shit bothers me. Like, the audacity. Oh, I'm just saying. Okay, go ahead, Bobby. You have more questions, Bobby?
Yeah, I got more questions. And to tack on to what they said as well too. He said that you saved his literal physical life, but saving your life doesn't always necessarily mean in the physical sense. There's a lot of decisions that we make. A lot of people crash out. A lot of people make bad decisions from operating from a negative place. They may go into work and someone says something to them the wrong way, and that's the final straw where they say what they really feel, and now they're out of work with no plan. And so now they're going to be on unemployment. They don't know how to pay. They're going to pay the bills. Someone might have ended a relationship or torn their home apart or something, or a bad decision was made simply because they were operating from a negative space. But there are people who may have seen your affirmations, seen your content, and you literally put them in a completely different mindset.
Wow.
And so because of that, they weren't in danger of losing their life or anything, but you may have, as a result, saved somebody's job. You may have saved somebody's marriage. You may have saved somebody's family. You may have saved somebody's friendship. You might have just caused the person to go in a different path than what they were going to go on before. So saving lives looks different in all different senses. So don't underestimate that.
And little things can be real big. Go ahead, Bobby.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Next question I have is, so with that being said, how do you decide what to put out and when?
What informs and inspires your ideas?
Well, thank you so much for that breakdown of changing lives and how that can look differently, because I never thought of it like that. So I really do appreciate that, Gem. But what inspires me to produce content is, I feel like producing the content that I've been doing it for a couple of years now, and it's all about me building the relationship with my audience and understanding what they're looking for, and reading the comments and communicating with people and testing out different things. So like, if you've followed my page for a little bit now, it's been going up and down, left and right, because I'm just trying to figure out what is it that my audience wants from me. And so at first, when I was doing the affirmations, I posted 200, I think it was like, no, it was like 400 affirmations every single day for 400 days of me, and then my audience was communicating, and it was different every single day. And even days I didn't feel like doing it, I was doing it because that's what people's like.
No, you're good. You're good now. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying eventually the audience was like, well, you're the only one. There's no one else is doing this. There's not other Black women that care about us. So I listened to those comments, and then I was like, okay, well, I'm going to find Black women that care about y'all. I'm going to message them and see if they want to post on the page, or I'm going to find content. I started doing that. And then that was doing really well. And then other Black men, were like, well, y'all are speaking for Black men on this page, but that's not how we feel, or that's not what we. And I'm reading this, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, y'all, I'm gonna get some Black men on the page and get Black male voices here so that we can talk to and we can engage in this conversation. And so really all the content has just been maneuvering with what my audience wants from me and what they communicate to me. And now I feel like we've built a really solid relationship with my audience, where I know that they want to feel understood, and not everybody has the language. And so I just had Professor Odie, who's a trauma therapist, on my podcast, who he's in school, but I think he's in his last year. But he has really good language for expressing trauma, or expressing things that not everybody knows how to word what they feel. And so, and they know that they feel frustrated or angry or annoyed, or they shut down and they just don't want to talk, because like you might have triggered someone, but someone that doesn't always know how to express how they've been triggered. And so I feel like that conversation was really cool, because I was able to talk to Odie and, and understand like triggers and how Black men feel from a deeper lens, where he can actually communicate it to me what others can't. And so when those videos went down on my Instagram, everyone was like, oh my God, this is great. He says, he just pulled the words out of my head. And so they really love feeling understood. They really love feeling affirmed by amazing, beautiful, incredible Black women. It's like a formula. And so they really love the affirmational words. You got to do it at the same time every day. And they just really love feeling supported and, having resources that can help assist them on their journey and encourage. And they really love being seen other than money, and this is you guys, right? You guys are Black men. So if it's not money, if it's not success and fame, it's like, if you can see a part of me that has to do with other parts of me than that, and then if you can communicate that to me, that you appreciate that, and we could talk about it and really sit like, oh my gosh.
Real talk. People qualities. Go ahead, Ant.
No, I was gonna say, I want to play this video before I give it back to Bobby real quick.
Go ahead.
All right.
I ask a Black woman what she's looking for in a Black man. Most of the answers that I get back are performative. Black women do not trust Black men to give them feedback on emotional intelligence. You will tell me that I can't tell you when it is that I've harmed you. But when I tell you that you've harmed me, you attempt to narrate my experience with you. We cannot affirm Black men if we do not see Black men. We cannot affirm Black men if we do not validate Black men. We cannot affirm Black men if we do not give Black men the breadth and the width to be multidimensional, outside of the ways in which we expect them to perform. You wonder why this man is so cold towards you. You wonder why this man don't love you no more, because you've worked him to an emotional death. And you believe that all you got to do is feed him and fuck him. Your man is not an animal to breed with.
Come on.
Your man is not a buck.
Come on.
This is not a plantation.
I'm telling you, they're not going to want to hear this.
Yo, that's
Okay.
Professor Artie that she talking about. I follow him. Super dope dude. Would love to get a conversation with him. That was powerful.
I need this. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up now. Hold up. Let me get loose here for a minute. Hold up. Listen.
Ed, you got to organ. I mean, I see the baby grand back there, but you got like.
I know, right? I need that. I need that organ first, for real. Listen, there's two main themes that I'm hearing here that I really, really want to speak on, and the first one is about transactional relationships. Okay, and the second one is about active listening skills. And that I really want to commend you. I think I'll go with the second one first because I really want to take time out and carve out a space to commend you on the last few minutes that you've been speaking, because more so than anything else, you are displaying that you are partaking in this directly. Right? This is not just something that you're doing. You're doing something that you think the men will like. No, you're listening to their feedback and adjusting your content to accommodate what it is that the men are saying. And this is what men are missing. I mean, if I could name one thing that men are missing from women, that's it. That's the main thing right there. Not listening, thinking they have all the answers or whatever. You'd be surprised how many times there's a post, what do you men like in a woman? And the men will say what they like, and the men will say what they like. And some woman will come on there, no, that ain't what y'all like. Y'all like this and that, because I be seeing how y'all be talking on Instagram. How you gonna tell us what we like? Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and listen and learn something. These spaces, the thing that makes my head explode, these spaces where there's a whole bunch of men and a whole bunch of women, whatever the case may be. And unfortunately, the women, things are not really in women's favor when you start talking about dating, right? It's really, really, it's not, it's skewed in the other direction because there's so many more women than there are men. You understand what I'm saying? And that's not even counting the dudes in Iraq and the gay dudes and all that. It's just way more y'all than it is us, right? And so you have a lot of women out here that complain, oh, the men ain't this, the men ain't that, oh Lord, and they have access to men literally every day. And the men are telling you in explicit detail what we like, what we don't like, things that work, things that won't work so well. And you're not listening to a goddamn thing because you're so traumatized. Your trauma kicks in and your trauma speaking for you. And you want to talk, and you don't listen. And that's why we have such huge problems when it comes to dating and relationships. You understand what I'm saying? And like, you have really, when you say that you listened to what the men said and you adjusted your content, do you know how huge that is?
Thank you.
You need a blimp that says that. You know, you need a blimp that says that, and you need to fly it over the United States 10 times, because women as a group, they just don't listen to what we have to say. And when you go into a space where you're dealing with someone who you want to live the rest of your life with, or so you say, and you don't care anything about what they think because you think that you know what's good for them better than they do, we have a problem. You understand what I'm saying? So the active listening is colossal. What was the other thing I said? Oh Lord, I got on that one tangent.
Transactional relationships.
Yeah,
transactional. Oh my God.
See, there's that. There we go. They go to active listen.
Listen.
To quote the great Eddie Murphy. Once again, you have judged correctly.
This is what I'm saying, gang. You see? Exhibit A, goddammit. Exhibit A. You see? So, yes, transactional relationships. That's the other thing. We are so accustomed to the transactional relationship that, you know, all those things that you mentioned before, looking at a man for more than he can provide financially, or, you know, more than he can show, because sometimes they don't even have, they just show that they have. You understand what I'm saying? Looking at a man for more than that and actually seeing the person that he is, that is to say, acknowledging someone's character, is a lost art. Okay, that's a lost art. We don't do that no more. That's another major reason that our relationships are failing. And so to hear that from a woman, we talk about it on here all the time. We seldom hear it from women.
Wow.
You dig? And it doesn't mean that it's not out there. But those women, we have a segment on our show every week called the Crown Check, where we take a woman and, you know, whatever she's doing is bomb. You know what I'm saying? And we make sure that we highlight her and we talk about her and, you know, whatever the case may be. Too many people out there are not, men and women, are not exalting women, you know, for the wonderful things that they do. You know what I'm saying? And everything gets lost in the sauce and everything just becomes transactional, because the idea is why women can fix their mouths to say, oh, I don't need no man, because there is no worth in their mind. There is no worth in you beyond what you can provide for me monetarily. And I think that both men and women, but we're talking about women to men right now, you really lose out on the most that is to offer in an experience with a man when that is your thinking.
Yes.
And I'll park the Chevy.
I do want to say, women ask for emotional men until, I say, women ask for men to be emotionally intelligent. That's the requirement until they come across an intelligent, emotional man, and that will exude the amount of intelligence to show them that they're not intelligent, emotionally intelligent themselves. So I see a lot of women that ask for those type of men, but when those type of men come about, just the one you wanted, his emotional intelligence, it irritates you, because now it holds you accountable for your actions that he emotionally senses.
Yeah.
I just want to lay that out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There it is. There it is.
There was a post just last month that somebody dropped. I saw it because somebody else commented on it, and it was by some chick, and the post was just full of condescension. It was saying basically, you know, I love when men are men. Thank you for paying for my meals. Thank you for opening my doors. Thank you for letting me yap. Blah 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 blah. This, that, and the third. And then at the end of it, she even had the nerve to say, "And thank you for not complaining about any of it." And of course, the post did numbers in terms of reactions. The post got about over 11,000 reactions. The lion's share of them were love reactions and like reactions, and you can guess who those were mainly coming from. And I said, this is ridiculously transactional. I mean, all of this is just ridiculous. First off, she's not talking about this is what I like from my husband, my boyfriend, my man, nothing. She's saying, I like it from men. So this is trick behavior we're talking about here. This is some random stuff. And I said, this is speaking to transactional mindset. And it's funny to see how many women are agreeing with this, where men are only being identified and acknowledged as men when they're of service. And I said, if I were to put a post that says, I love when women are women, thank you for cooking me dinner, thanks for cleaning my house, thanks for washing my clothes, thanks for buying me groceries, thanks for giving me head, then there would be all kinds of talk about how, no, and we have seen posts like this before, right? The talk would be how he only sees women as slaves. They're only good for sex and for barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And we can see that and understand that, and they'd be right. But my God, the blind spot where we can't recognize the same setup when it's the other way around.
Right.
And when I said that, I've been paying minimal attention to the post at the point. Some woman commented and mentioned afterwards on my comment that, you know, it's funny that how the woman who posted later on, can't make this stuff up,
she dropped her OnlyFans link in the comments.
Oh, oh man.
So exactly what I was saying.
Oh.
This is whole trick ideology.
Yeah.
That's being espoused, and she even validated herself. Can't make this stuff up. But look at how many women are agreeing with this. Now, because she's in this line of, she's in the sex work field, so she has a clientele. She's going to get some level of, she's going to get tricks that are going to do this for her. But if you're a regular square woman that's not looking to go down this road, you're employing hoe mindset, hoe thinking. What results is that going to yield to you?
Yeah.
You can't go fishing for big mouth bass using cheese. You'll keep getting rats. And then what do you complain about later on? Why do I keep getting rats? There's no good fish out here. This fish aren't biting, just rats. Have you checked what you put in the water, man?
Come on now.
But like you said, we need to divorce ourselves from this thinking because it's not getting us the results that we want. And it shows that a lot of the trauma, a lot of bad experiences we have, a lot of it is, like I like to say, self-inflicted gunshot wounds. You putting the bullet in your own ass, love.
Yeah.
But next question I have for you, Nicole, I'm gonna try to keep these brief, but so you talked about some of the issues that you had with, some of the comments from, unfortunately, women and other folks hating on the content, but also some men not really believing and not really trusting what's being put out there. But what are some of the other challenges that you overcome on the journey so far, and which ones are you still wrestling with?
You stole my question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
My bad, cuz.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I have like a lot of social anxiety now, maybe because like a lot of people know what I do and like the spaces that I'll show up, like whether it's like creator events or, I used to like maybe go out a lot more, and now people that have known me might start treating me a little bit differently, or like I'm kind of like weary of people trying to use me or like put this, I don't know, energy on me, put me on like a pedestal and like not know me, or like kind of like almost like use me like as an ego tool for themselves instead of trying to actually get to know me. So I have a hard time like building new relationships now because of like, unless like we just meet randomly or like maybe you don't know anything that I'm doing, and I feel comfortable, but like I feel like I'm more like siloed than ever because of what I do. And so maybe I'm struggling with that a little bit now. And then some other challenges that I faced in dating in the past 2 years, like as this was all going on, like I was like dating this guy, for example, and at first, like he's really a success. He was like the successful one in his community, and everything he's doing is like absolutely amazing. But the moment that I started becoming successful in what I was doing in the way that I was doing it, right, affirming Black men, and there was like some jealousy, that not a lot of men want to see you affirm other men, and feel uncomfortable with that energy. And then it was also so like such a new thing that nobody else was doing. And so it was probably like for him, it might have been like a little bit more cringy, and he wasn't able to kind of see the bigger picture of it. And so some of the problems that I faced in the past with, I like pretty much like sacrificed a couple of like personal relationships because of it.
Wow. It's very unfortunate. Wow. But I can see that. I can see that happening because I know the types, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not downing them because I kind of get how they could feel that way if they don't really totally embrace the vision or understand, or even if they do, guys are very territorial with their women sometimes, and I get it. So that's just very unfortunate. How do you handle that? How do you deal with that?
I pursued my, the vision, and I just let that relationship go.
Okay.
If you don't know my heart, if you can't trust me, like at one point he asked me, he's like, what are you going to end up doing? OnlyFans? I was like, oh my God. Like, so that's where his mind was at.
Oh, I get where he's going because you're building up this large male base, and oh, come on, man, that's so lowbrow. That ain't it.
You're bringing me down. You know what I mean? I'm really trying to, and I'm not. You know, I'm new in it. No one else is doing it. And I felt already a little bit insecure in what I was doing a little bit because it was new and fresh and different. And I was already getting some people hating on what I was doing. So just like having someone that was so close to that I wanted to build with, you know, just really not like what I was doing. I was just like, I think that I just left. I was like, okay. And I've been celibate ever since. I've been celibate for a year. That was a year ago. And so I was just been like, you know what? Like this, I think this is what God wants me to do. I'm going to go on this path. You can go on your path and we do not have to, you know, you're just not for me. So
the fact that that's where he took it just bothers me. That makes me itch. I mean, damn, really? That you took it there, bruh? I don't see that at all.
He's in amazing physical shape to be able to stretch like that. Jesus Christ.
That's a reach.
That is the longest reach.
Yeah, I think a lot of times
to that extent.
Yeah, I think a lot of times people kind of forget that success doesn't eliminate your insecurities.
Yeah.
And sometimes, a lot of times, the guys, if they aren't secure in themselves or even don't understand the realms of how that's where the intelligence comes from. That's where the emotional intelligence comes from. To understand that realm and space that you're into. Because it actually would put him on a higher pedestal. Because if you're out here affirming Black men and you have a strong Black man in your corner, it shows that what you're saying is actually proof in the pudding. You're not saying stuff and don't have proof of it in itself. So he could have looked at it like, you know, this can actually elevate not only my brand, but elevate us to make me elevate you even more. Being that predominantly uplifting guy, you can have me around on your arm and people will gravitate towards you and want to know more about you. Men would ask him, hey, bro, like, what do you do? You know, pick his brain to figure out how they could be like him. And then women would ask you, like, hey, how do I get a man like your man? So he not understanding on that level kind of diminished everything for him, which could have ended up propelling both of y'all to another stratosphere.
Yeah. Yeah, that's concerning. I mean, God, but you know what? This is what I don't want to tear him down too much because, and this is not, and I'm not tearing you down either, but a sister that we know, Mona Lisa, you know Mona Lisa, and Bobby, you know her too. She actually said something to me that when she said that, it took me back to that place. She was like, you know, some things that I told her really helped her in life, and you know, she really felt, you know, that I was genuinely concerned about her and trying to help her, and I wasn't just trying to get them draws. You know what I'm saying? And like she said, guys ain't out there like you.
Yeah.
She said straight out, niggas ain't like you out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it kind of took me aback. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when he took it there, I don't get anything like that when I talk to the sister. Those vibes are totally, I don't get none of that. But I think that the place that he's coming from is there aren't too many real sisters out there that are on this type of kick with this type of energy. And so he probably thinks that it's not real. You know what I'm saying?
Too good to be true.
Yeah.
He thinks it's too good to be true. Like when you listen to people like, I don't want to pick on people, but I gotta make my points. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. You listen to people like Erykah Badu, and you hear the type of things that she talks about, and then you see how she moves. A lot of people got a big problem with that. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna get too deep, but you know where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying? It's like you very seldom see. Usually, it's a con when guys see somebody who's, you know, on that level and on that wavelength, because nobody else is really there. You can count the people. I named you, I named Erica Lachey, and maybe one or two other women I can't think of right now, but like the vast majority of women out there not on that. So when somebody meets somebody who's on that wavelength with that type of energy, they don't quite know how to process it. They think that you're building a big male audience so that you can do OnlyFans. You dig? And it's like, you know, so many of us are outside of the loop of community building and nation building and upliftment of our own and so forth and so on, that we don't know what to do when we see somebody that's real, is what it boils down to. That's what it sounds like to me. So, oh, wow, that said a lot.
Can I ask the age of the gentleman?
That's real.
Yeah, I'm 30. He's 32. So this was like, I don't know, it's a year and a half ago. So 31.
Wow.
Yeah, like I say, around in the 30s, you're supposed to have a base knowledge. And the only reason why I would, you know, kind of look at him in a way is because this is somebody, if she was somebody that he saw from a distance, didn't have personal contact with, and he looked at her like that, and then he started getting to know her over the phone, and she was like, yeah, I'm building up this platform, then I can understand he don't have the capacity to realize what was going on and not sure if she's really real like that or not. Yeah. But this is somebody you're laying up with. This is somebody you're having intimacy with. You should already have a connect. If you're on the level of having sex with somebody, you should already know the in-depthness of who that person really is, especially at the age of 31. It's not an 18-year-old. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying, but I really want the fellas that's watching this at the age of 30 older, you really got to be more on a vetting, like you always say about vetting. You really got to know who you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You really got to know who you're dealing with. And I've been introduced to this queen through Bobby, and we're doing virtual. And it just certain people, you just can feel their energy and feel their realness, even without them being in the physical room with you.
Yeah.
So if I can feel that, you guys can feel that. This gentleman, and I wish him the best. I just want him on his journey to start realizing the authenticity of the women that he's dealing with versus assuming and dropping the ball. Because guess what? When this sister goes to the level that she's about to head to, he's going to look back and say, I fumbled Nicole. Mm-hmm. Every time somebody said you fumbled a girl in your life, she's going to be the one that pops up first.
Facts. Definitely. I'm playing devil's advocate because I realize you know me, you know I ain't with the bullshit. So I just know that most cats are not as evolved as us. That's just the reality of it.
That's true.
You start talking about the conscious community. Unfortunately, the conscious community, we're in the minority out here. What's going on, Rick Roots? What's happening? We're in the minority out here.
Yeah.
You know, most people are walking around eyes wide shut. They don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. That's just what it is. You dig? And so, hey, you know, that's crazy.
And at 31, if he's running like that, hey, I got to see your friends.
Come on now.
I got to see your friends.
Yeah.
Because your friend's supposed to, if you don't know, your friend's supposed to put you up on game. You're 31 now. Life ain't getting too younger and shit. You know, by the time you blink your eye, we in 2026.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think when you start like healing and growing and evolving and everything around you starts changing, like I think that sometimes the people around you change too.
Correct.
Because some people are, you know, comfortable with the version of you that didn't have boundaries or the version of you that wasn't secure or like, you know, and so when you start moving in a particular direction of growth and healing and strength and internal strength, what I realized was like, not everybody is going to come with you, or not everybody's ready to come with you. And so like,
everybody can't go.
Be okay with that. Yeah.
Can't save everybody.
Yeah. The irony of this is he actually in a way, and I think you're probably going to find a lot more of this in your life as you continue on this path. He actually perfectly highlighted the importance of the work that you're doing, because you got to understand something. Part of my Swahili, but insecurity is a motherfucker. You know, it really is. When you have that one little seed of doubt can sneak in if you're not careful, and if you're not on guard, that thing can sprout and just take over your mind, takes you in some dark places. I mean, because again, and I wasn't trying to be, I mean, my facial expressions probably were hilarious, but I was being very genuine and serious when I was like, how the hell did he make that reach?
That's
nothing that you're doing involves any element of sexuality or sensuality or anything. It's content that you could put in front of your elderly grandmother. It's content you could put in front of your little newborn infant, your toddlers. Nothing about it is even remotely untowards. Nah. And yet his mindset is because it deals with others, he's going to take into something sexual.
Yeah.
That's insecurity. So he may have been doing well successfully on the exterior play. Maybe his paper was up there, lived in a great neighborhood, drove a great car, great career, well respected by his peers, well respected by his neighbors. That could have been the case, but clearly the inside doesn't match where the outside was at. And he's exactly the kind of person, I hope that he actually is a subscriber to your content, because he's exactly the kind of person that could benefit from that. You have all this stuff, and in your mind, you think that I'm not him. I have this great woman here. She's pouring into, she has so much to give. She's pouring to other people, but somehow I think that she's going to flip it and turn it into sex, or probably more likely what really, that might have been what he said, but inside his head, you know, she keeps exposing herself to all these men. Someone else better than me might come along and take her from me, because we know that's rooted in him. He didn't really believe it for himself. So, you know, anytime you're doing work of this nature that's very positive, that's very light-based, you have to understand when you're shining light, you're going to start hitting some shadows. And it's going to start making you have to deal with certain things in your own life too, but in other people's lives as well. It's going to shine some light in some place that maybe hadn't had light before. And you start realizing, you know what? Kind of dingy over here. I got some mold that needs to be cleaned up over here. Or, you know, I thought this room was clean, but nah, it's kind of dirty in here. And it's going to inspire some people to clean up, but it's also going to inspire some people to try to pull the blind, saying, I'm not ready for that just yet. Yeah. So, you know, again, we're not saying this to jump on the brother. I hope that he buys into his own hype. And if he isn't, if his hype really isn't at that level, I hope that he'll put in the work to where he will be deserving of the hype and he'll accept that. The
one thing that I would be on his side for if he had brought it up, because it's something that I think a lot of women subconsciously do, but not really realize that they're doing it. It would be the balance. If he had said that what you're doing, it takes away from a lot of the stuff that, you know, he wanted to connect with you with, meaning that you had to have the balance between your work and your home. If he said, you know, babe, you feel kind of like you're doing a little bit more over there than over here. And then, you know, you like, oh, I'm so caught up into it. You know what? Forgive me. So let me cut back a little bit and have a balance between the two. Because a lot of working women, they do that. They lose themselves in their work and then they kind of neglect their dude. If he did say that, then I could understand his gripe. But for him to say what he said, I wasn't happy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That's great.
I think he just wanted me to stop. I think it was
I
think it was just, he was just trying to encourage me to stop and like kind of shape me to stop. So, and I don't even think I had communicated all of this to him, that someone said that, you know, like my journey, like, because if you don't ask, you know, or what's your purpose for doing it, like you guys are, you know, so sweet and you're asking about it and you're curious. He wasn't giving that type of energy, you know, so I kind of just was doing it. And I guess he was just seeing on in his end and seeing all the comments from all the men that were like, oh my gosh, I love what you do. Will you marry me? And all this stuff. And so for him, he was like, oh, this is bad. This is bad for me, you know? And so I think he just wanted to get me to stop. But it definitely, that wasn't my energy towards it. So
very unfortunate.
Exactly.
All right.
What I got for you is, what are the short-term goals you set for Affirmations for Black men, and what are the long-term goals?
Oh, that's never asked me that. Thank you. So my short-term goals is to build content around like what Black men need and conversations around what Black men need and are asking for, and build conversations that people don't typically have, kind of different frames and different points of view. I want my YouTube to be a space where Black men can come and learn with and learn about and feel confident when they're listening to my content and resources. So we talked about in the subscriber hub that a lot of Black men are having trouble with like sleeping patterns. So I want to get like a sleep therapist on, and then maybe like a marriage therapist on as well. Like, how do you prepare for marriage, and like counseling and different things, and have different types of conversations that can be like free resources. So that would be like my short-term goals with things. My long-term vision is I really want to step behind the camera and become like a producer and a director of Black male stories, where I can, like, I don't know if it's necessarily interview, but I can, and you know how short form content is becoming like the main source of what people are consuming. It's no longer long-term. So I really want to work with like 90 seconds and be able to tell a Black man's story for 90 seconds that feels like almost like on the level of like Nike storytelling, but for Black men who we all know and can relate to, that feel more like every single day, Black men we encounter every single day, but we don't consider them as special, and then make and like expand and magnify their stories where they're like, this is why this particular man is special, and be able to tell that story like within that 90 seconds and in a very, very like unique and beautiful way. And so my affirmations then will transform into like a different level of storytelling. And I want to be able to do that like Monday through Friday, different types of men and different types of fields and different types of ages, and just be able to like communicate storytelling.
Nice.
Wonderful.
That's dope. That's
Wonderful.
dope. And I'm so glad you said that, because I watched this show, man. It's so dope. Polygamy. No. Oh gosh.
Polygamy.
Bartholomew Gray. Bartholomew Gray, I think that's the name.
Bartholomew.
Ptolemy Gray or something like
Oh,
that.
Ptolemy. Okay, Ptolemy Gray. Yes, Ptolemy Gray. Yes, that is such a phenomenal series. Oh man, and you just talking about affirmation for Black men and just the love and the transactionalness. You know, it really broke a lot of that down in it. It was a 6-series show that they didn't renew. I know why they didn't renew. It was so powerful because it started giving solutions for Black empowerment through the trauma, overcoming and healing from trauma and adversity, and end up, you know, going into Black empowerment. And they cut that six series in. And that was a story told by
Gray, right?
Samuel L. Jackson. Huh?
Wow.
The last days of Ptolemy Gray, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Phenomenal. I recommend everybody to watch that, man. I'm telling you, that thing is so powerful. It will bring you to tears, because it was some moments that almost brought me there, because it's so real. So when you say that, telling that story, and this is one of the biggest things that I have with Tyler Perry and all these other people, is that you have a studio that you can go out there and you know, everybody's like, oh yeah, there's stories coming out. Oh, Tyler Perry paid me the most and paid me all. Yeah, that's fine. But the storyline and the stories he's producing, it's counterproductive to what needs to be put out there. Like, there's so many stories out there that are so powerful that need to be on that level. You know what I'm saying? And that story that Samuel L. Jackson did, you know, that's something that Tyler Perry should be producing in his studios 24/7. Why should it be one series, 6 episodes, and that's it? You know, and there's so many other shows that came out that was so powerful, and they cut it. They don't want that type of empowerment going on. So, you know, just saying that, I really, really appreciate what you said about that, because that's something that we really need to see. When you talk about healing, and you talked about how you had to change your music and how you watch things. You know, we have Real Housewives of Atlanta. We have, Power. And when you look at those shows, when you have those shows, it puts Black women in a bad light. Then when you have Power, you got Drug Money and Hoes, that puts Black men in a bad light. Like, we need more positive movies, yo, and it's crazy.
Bruh, don't get me started. I'm sorry, sister. Go ahead. You were going to say?
Oh no, I was just agreeing. I was like, people are bonding over trauma and sadness, and it's a cycle. So I completely agree with you.
It makes my head explode, and I am hell on these people. Don't get me started on Tyler Perry. Listen, I don't have much nice to say about this man at all. Don't get me started on Lena Waithe. Some of these other people who put all this toxic shit programming out here, under the guise of, I'm giving Black people jobs. Yeah, but you're buck dancing like a Sambo. You understand what I'm saying? And I have a real problem with that, because that becomes the culture.
Yes.
And the culture is nothing more than, things that you repeat over and over again. You know what I mean? And repeating this type of toxicity over and over again is just going to damn us, to one of the four hills that we haven't gone to already. I mean, like, I've said this a million times, but some of the creators that we have out here making quote unquote Black programming, we might as well let the white people keep writing. I mean, like the last few Tyler Perry films, what? And his TV shows are just unwatchable at this point. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, I would think that what you just said, sister, where you want to produce these positive, Black men stories and whatever the case may be, I would think that he would have picked that up and ran with it. There are so many stories to be told. I understand that, in order to tell a good story and make it interesting, you got to have some conflict or whatever the case. I understand that. But damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is like some of the most toxic shit I've ever seen in my life. And there's no way. We had one of our brothers on here. He does mental health therapy, Matt Genius. That brother's brilliant. Brilliant. You got to meet him. You got to have him on your show. We're going to send you some clips of him. You might want to have him.
Yeah.
We've had him on here a couple times. We love that brother. And we were talking about Power, and this brother said, yeah, he couldn't watch it. It was traumatizing. I was like, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I loved Power at that time. Like, I'm a little more, now. But at the time, I was like, oh, this is, it's gangsters, But yeah, you got to kind of realize, and this is kind of why, like you said, I changed the type of music I listen to. I listen to some ratchet shit here and there, but like, I really toned down my ratchet, and I don't listen to it. You can ask my wife. I listen to mostly old school hip hop, because you don't have a trap music in old school hip hop. Rakim said selling drugs is for handicaps. I got so much skills besides busting rough raps. That's what Rakim said before he started rapping about just another 100 mil and I'm gonna quit for good. You know what I'm saying? Before he started rapping about selling keys, but that's a whole other conversation. Even those of us that were positive, my point being, those of us that were positive conformed. You know what I'm saying? And became something else. Rakim, if I ever meet Rakim, I love Rakim. One of his biggest fans. Argument. That's the first thing we're going to argue first. You understand what I'm saying? Because you said selling drugs is for handicaps. And, you talk about how I used to be a stick-up kid and you became righteous. Then you came out with a song a few years later about another 100 million keys, and I'm going to quit for good. Because it was the accepted thing to do. But your ass knew better, nigga. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I respect Rakim. I respect a lot of the people that I'm going to argue with when I finally meet. But you going to get that argument. You going to get this work. Because, like, this man on the wall behind me, I'm the real deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, they tried to corrupt him a whole bunch of times. You understand what I'm saying? I'm the real deal. I've been offered record deals before 3 times. I told them to kiss my ass because they was telling me to do stuff that just didn't jive with my spirit. You have to know how to be who you are and stand in your purpose, man. These worldly things are going to come at you. They're going to tempt you, and you have to know how to walk away. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I could go on all day. I'm going to park the Chevy because I'm starting to get a little hype. But, yeah, you said a word right there when you started talking about, you know, some of this toxicity that's out here. And I think that what you're doing is the perfect counter programming tool for that. You know, it helps us get rid of some of this vicious bile that, you know, is being programmed into our heads and into our spirits, whether we even realize it or not. You go outside and somebody's driving past, you know, playing get it sexy, and, you know, my coochie pink, my booty hole brown. You just walking down the street. You didn't turn that shit on. You know what I'm saying? But it's everywhere. You can't escape it. And so you have to detox.
Yes.
In a sense. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I feel that you're so necessary and so powerful out here in these internet streets. All right. I'm going to park the Chevy. Yeah. I see you over there. I see you, sis.
So,
yeah.
No, we really have to make a conscious effort, as Professor Black Truth says now and again, to properly brainwash ourselves.
Yeah.
And actively, you need to take a big old power washer and hose the crap that gets stuck in the nooks and crannies, because we don't understand how this stuff is really crippling us. There was a post that what's the sister's name again? Daphne Accountability Sutton posted a few weeks ago where some woman reached out to her asking for help because she basically shot herself in the foot again with one of these whole Applebee's such and such things, whatever. There's a guy she was talking to and she liked. He tried to set up the date for her, and it was to Red Lobster. He told her to pull up at 10 o'clock. And she said she went there and she didn't see anybody. There's no cars out front. There was just employees inside. And she messaged him. And he's like, hey, where'd you go? He's like, yeah, I don't do Red Lobster, whatever. And plus, there's no one inside, but I got to go. And like, if you find someplace, maybe another woman will be interested in something like this. I don't do Red Lobster on dates.
Wow.
Come to find out that he's actually friends with the owner of the restaurant and had the owner hook him up, or basically close the restaurant. Well, didn't close the restaurant closed at 10. He had the staff stay behind. They had the restaurant to themselves. They had a whole private menu that was going to be cooked exclusively for them. Basically, he had the whole restaurant just for the two of them. And then when she realized she messed up, she tried to go ahead and get back with him. He's like, nah, I'm good. So she reached out to Daphne trying to help her out to get him back. She's like, I'm not doing that for you. And I'm in the comments looking, and there was a comment that one particular woman posted about saying basically in so many words, well, I can't blame her because nowadays you don't know what people are up to. You could have been set up to be kidnapped or something. You know how women are being trafficked these days. And I'm like, it's a restaurant, it's closed, but the restaurant is fully staffed. People in their work uniforms. Their lights on. It's not like the place is pitch black or whatever. But something dawned on me in that moment. I'm like, you know what? Part of the reason that you can even think something so ridiculous like that is because too often one of women's favorite pastimes is to watch these Oxygen, Oprah, Lifetime movies where you have all these true crime horror stories, and this woman will sit there and literally fall asleep on this gunk. You're out here imagining whole Hollywood blockbuster sex trafficking rings going on out of nowhere. But that's because that's what you feed yourself.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. You could have always called, you could have gone to the staff and said, hey, what's going on? Or is the restaurant open? And they'd have been happy to give you the information and let you know, yeah, come on in. But you didn't even bother to inquire and you think that because in your mind it goes to something negative because all you watch is negative garbage.
Facts.
That part.
And let me just,
and that's sad.
Let me interject.
Before I close, I was gonna say, and there's a lot of people, not just women, men too, but there's a lot of people that are walking around and they're taking these second and third hand case studies. A lot of it not even real. It's something that some writer cooked up and put on TV or on the movie screen or in a music video. But they're taking around and they're carrying this stuff inside of them. and they haven't lived this. They don't even know anybody that's experienced this, but they're carrying around and referring to it in their life and using this as a reference point. They're literally not living in reality, but they're making decisions based on this. So we need to get the gunk out, and we need enough, if bare minimum, at least more positive content to balance out the garbage. Because we had the sexy reds and stuff back in the 90s and 80s. We're not gonna pretend we didn't, but we also had an abundance of positive things too. So there was at least a balance. You can go be ratchet for 5-10 minutes, and the rest of the hour you got your positive stuff over here. But now all we got is the garbage. There's nothing to at least counterbalance what's being taken in.
Facts.
Definitely.
I forget what I was gonna say.
Well,
Back to me.
that's all you got for her, Bobby?
I have one final question.
Go ahead.
So, with all that's been said, Nicole, it's 2025, top of the year. What do you have planned next that we should keep an eye out for?
For 2025, I just would love it if you guys could follow me on YouTube. I am going to just do more to move the platform there into longer conversations and prioritize my podcast, Affirmations for Black Men, the Black Man Spotlight, and give Black men the mic and give Black men the platform. And and just continue to do what I'm doing and continue to listen and continue to observe and study and hopefully continue to build the relationships that I already have built. So I'm really grateful for your support. I'm grateful for this podcast. Bobby, I know you subscribe to my Instagram page, and thank you so much for subscribing and being a part of my community. I'm going to try to follow everybody back. If you guys could email me your handles, I will follow you guys back as well. And I'm just invested in continue to do the best I can. I just want to wake up every single day and just do the best I can.
I just subscribed to.
And speaking of, Nicole, please put us up on game. What are all the different platforms we can find you? And what are your handles on all of them?
Yes, I got the handle Affirmations for Black Men on YouTube. I got the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. So you can follow me on any of those platforms. I would really appreciate it. Your support. Thank you so much. I'm growing. It's growing a lot. There's a lot of engagement happening and a lot of conversations happening. So if you have any ideas, if you have any feedback, you can also email me. Nobody ever really emails me, but I read the emails, and let's just continue to hopefully heal ourselves and help heal each other and our community, because there's so much to do. There's so much to go. And we all deserve to live in a different energy than we've known. And so I just want to hopefully help welcome that in.
And make sure that you go to her website and pick up the Affirmations, daily affirmations for yourself, the book. You could go get the notebook at affirmationsforblackmen.com. Go pick that book up, man. I love to encourage men to read and write. And you could do both, because you start to write your affirmations and you can read the affirmations, you know what I'm saying? So give yourself that daily confidence, that daily boost, because this world is full of corruption and a lot of bad energy. And sometimes you just need to be in your own space and reaffirm positive things around you. Intake it, and it changes your life and keeps you balanced at the same time.
Yes. And that's a journal for everyone to write themselves. So the pages are blank. It's just a start date and a finish date. So you can write your daily affirmations to yourself every day. It helps just reprogram you, and a little reminder. I actually have it here. So
there it goes.
Dope.
Pick it up.
So let me say, so for all the people that's watching this live, who's going to watch later on, I'm just going to really personally encourage you, please. The sister is doing good work. She literally is doing God's work out here. Not even trying, not pumping anything up, not hyping anything. She really is. This is a work that really isn't being done, certainly not consistently with this level of intentionality. She's done great things in the past. She's working now. She has great visions for the future. One of the things that I took it upon myself once I and I'm not going to, I'll be 100% with you. When I saw the content, I liked it initially at the beginning, but I wasn't sure, okay, is this just like a part-time thing, or is this like a random video, whatever? When I saw this was truly your focus, that you were serious about this and you weren't going away, I was like, you know what? Let me observe. Let me watch. And as the other brothers have noticed and observed in their time, really, kicking it with you right here, I saw the sincerity. I saw the genuineness. And then I did something that I haven't done on any of the platforms. I haven't done it for anybody else on Facebook or IGN and place else. You had a subscriber portion to your page, and I took it upon myself to go ahead and subscribe to your platform on Instagram and on Facebook. So currently, right now, $10, $5 per page leaves my bank account and goes to you. And the reason I did, and I remember when you first launched that, I remember that there were some people who were skeptical about it. And they were kind of like, oh, see, here she goes. We knew this was coming, blah, blah, blah. And I sat back and thought, you know what? There is literally, not being hyperbolic, not overselling it, there is literally low-key an industry where you have people putting out anti-Black misandry, hating on Black men, and they're getting a bag for it.
Mm-hmm.
They have social media pages with hundreds of thousands of followers. They're getting all kinds of promo sales. They're getting paid off of clicks. They're literally making a bag off of slandering Black men.
Yeah.
They're getting paid off of that. And it's more than one channel. The hate out there is real. We have one system. We have one, it might be others, but we have one person that is dedicated to putting out positive content for us.
Mm-hmm.
$5 is that is a penny. Ain't nobody gonna get, Nicole is not gonna get rich off of $5
for what she's doing.
It's not gonna get paid a bag. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, Nicole. I don't know. Do you have, maybe you might have a Maybach outside? I don't know. Maybe you just came back from Athens the other day. I don't know. Maybe you are. I don't know. But in most cases, nobody's gonna get rich off of $5 a month. It's not going to go ahead and make her pockets fat. It's not going to pay her bills. But what it will do is send that, hey, there are people who genuinely care about what is being put out there. There are people willing to pay money because they hate you. If you can't at least show a little bit of love for people who are showing you love, showing you positivity, trying to put a smile on your face, trying to make your heart, your shoulders a little bit lighter, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you want to show what somebody believes, and I'm a firm believer in this, if you want to show me what you believe in, let me see your bank account. Let me see what you spend money on consistently.
Mm-hmm.
You constantly make withdrawals to the strip club. You constantly spend money on liquor. You constantly spend money on partying. You spend money on your card. You spend money on your clothes. Whatever you believe in, your wallet is going to back that up.
Yeah.
If you believe in this work, go ahead, buy the notebook. Even if journaling isn't your thing, if you can't use a notebook, get it as a gift for somebody else. Get it for your nephew. Get it for a coworker. Buy it. Don't even use it, but just pay for it just because someone who cares about you is putting this out there and they want to see something. You'd be surprised how much that makes a difference when you have your low days, because I don't necessarily make content myself, but I know people who do. And sometimes you get your moments where you're discouraged, you don't feel like it. It makes a huge difference to see that somebody believes in you enough to send some paper your way. So go ahead, support the sister, subscribe to her platforms, send her a message, show appreciation. Thank you for this. I needed this. Communicate. Let her feel the love back in return. Don't let this be a one-way street. Let this be a mutually beneficial arrangement. And Nicole, thanks for kicking it with us. We can't wait to see what you're going to do in this year and beyond.
Thank you. I really appreciate all the love and support. That was so amazing. Thank you. So I want to save this interview as well. So let me know where I can find this on YouTube or like the full version, because I'm definitely gonna be watching this back.
Oh yeah. We definitely on our YouTube platform, Manifestation 2020. You can watch it back. And what we did do for 2025 is we have the live going on Instagram as well. So we have a lot of people over there that love you. They're friends of our platform. They're like subscribing to your channel, everything like that. I'm reading the comments over there, and they're doing their thing. So that's a treat. You're the first treat that we have for our extended family on Instagram that just started this year. So definitely appreciate you for giving us that first episode, the first treat for peoples over there, and they're embracing it, and they're saying that they're subscribing and getting everything off your platform as well. So thank you so much for being who you are.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Well, I hope everyone has a good night, and thank you so much again.
God bless. We appreciate you coming through. Yes.
Thank you so much.
We'll be in touch with you. We are gonna follow you and give you the particulars how to follow us, and we gonna be in touch. We on the same mission. You dig?
Locked in.
Yeah, we locked in. Facts.
All right.
Facts.
You family now.
All right, Queen.
You fam. Hey. Good shit.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah, that was
rocking out. That was a dope episode. First of the year, man. Couldn't be with a better guest. I hope everybody that's watching understands that when we come in this year, we coming with the heat. Bow, 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 bow.
You already know.
You already know. So, yeah. So we got like 10 minutes left. So we're just gonna get into our queen check of the night. But I did want to show. We got our new fonts. Our new programs, our new topics, which is we're going to start doing celebrity trending news.
Okay.
Questions of the day, we got that. Also, for all that people, we have people that are sending in stuff and, finding advice, requesting advice. I need your help. That's a new segment. So anybody want to, you guys have the email, manifestations2020@gmail.com. Or you could go inside any of our platforms and send a message. And definitely we'll put your advice out here. We'll keep your identity anonymous. And we'll get you the answers that you need to your questions. All right. So that's what we're going to do for 2025. So no further ado, for our highlighted thing of the night, our crown check. All right. Yeah. So our crown check for tonight is this young lady who is Meet Chicago teen who started college at the age of 10 years old and became the youngest person to earn a doctorate degree at 17. And, she's done a phenomenal job. Her name is Dorothy Jean Tillman II, a Chicago native, earned her doctorate degree at 17 after starting college at age 10. Tillman earned her associate's degree in psychology from the College of Lake County in 2016, her bachelor's degree in humanities from Exala College in 2018, her master's science from Unity College in 2020, and in 2021, she was accepted into Arizona State University Doctoral of Behavior Health Management Program in December 2022. She defended her dissertation and earned her doctorate in integrated behavior health. Tillman is the youngest person to earn a doctorate in integrated behavior health at Arizona Tech. She is Arizona State. She is also the founder and CEO of a leadership institute that focuses on STEM and the arts. Tillman credits her mother as one of her biggest motivators. She says her mother's work ethics and abilities to support the family inspired her to become the accomplished person. Tillman also says that her grandmother, who was a part of the civil rights movement, instilled in her a strong appreciation for education. Tillman plans to continue to inspire people with her love and learning. She says she wants to positively impact young people's mental health. All right. So shout out to that sister who her mother, grandmother led by example, and now she wants to go out here and accomplish all this stuff to lead by example, let people know that you are a walking legend and you could be out here doing phenomenal things as long as you put your mind to it. So shout out to Dorothy Tillman for doing such a phenomenal job and inspiring young and old people with her journey of, obtaining all of that at a young age. That's all I have for tonight, my fellas.
Yes, sir. Look, that was beautiful. Listen,
I'm
so inspired by tonight's show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm so inspired. That sister came on here and spit hot fire, and I feel that was the show to set the mood for the whole 2025. So Shout out to Bobby Drake for that find. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I follow her as well, but you were the one that was like, hey, let's kick it off with this sister. You know what I'm saying? And let's, like, you put it in motion. Let's get her. I'm like, yes. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bobby Drake for that find and that suggestion. And shout out to Manifestations, because we just get down. We ain't playing, man. We ain't playing. We going in this year. And that was the perfect tone.
Exactly. We ain't seen nothing yet. We just that was the intro.
That's the intro.
the liquor men say warmed up yet.
We didn't even no meat on the bone this year. We going all the way in. So that was great.
Definitely.
Lock with us now.
Definitely. So shout out to all the family over there on Instagram. We see you. Yeah. We got y'all now. Y'all gonna be on our lookout every week. So you can be over here or over there, but y'all gonna get both sides of it. All right. Yeah. So we appreciate y'all. Love y'all, family. We're here 2025. So glad to see y'all back with us. Know we've been off for a minute, but we're here now. So tune in each and every Sundays at 8 o'clock on the dot. We will be here at 8 on the dot. That's our that's going to be our promise to you moving forward. All right. So tell a friend to tell a friend, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You gotta eat what you kill. You gotta go out there. You gotta hunt for your meals.
We all have that ability to connect with people, to be that motivational person in somebody's life.
You gotta let people know there's certain lines you don't cross, and that there's gonna be consequences if you do.
Man up.
If you are an adult and you are in a relationship, that person's emotions are not your responsibility.
Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
The devil, during slavery, destroyed the masculinity or manhood of the so-called Negro. No man. No man. Right now you got to be trained all over again to be a man.
When someone is obligated to do something, it is binding upon them to do it. And failure to do it causes reaction.
Man up.
Position make you rich. I don't have that type of richness. My richness is life forever.
If that people knew their glorious path, if that people knew their glorious path, if that people knew their glorious path, then they would be more inclined to respect themselves.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world. And that's our job, is to spark somebody else watching us.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
You want to tell me about yourself? Go get your friends. I'll tell you who you are based on who your friends are.
Don't just live and die. That's an ugly existence. Make your life matter. Make your life count. Live a life where people can actually mourn you for the things you left behind, not just because you were around and existed.
We need strong black nuclear family.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is. Mother, father, son, daughter, all in the same house with a focus on the family unit as a whole.
We had Tulsa, Atlanta, New Jersey, Detroit. We had Rosewood. We had Black Wall Streets all over.
the Republicans aren't for us, but the Democrats aren't for us either. And we should have no alliance to any political party. We only have alliance to what is in our own best interest.
A place where we inform, build, and inspire.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.
Man up.
Manifestations. Man up.
A place where we inform.
Manifestations.
A place where we inform, build, and
Man up.
inspire.
At the end of the day, as men in the community, we
Man
must
up.
stand together and be counted because people look to us for guidance, leadership,
Man
and
up.
protection. And if we are not about that business, we are not on our job.
Man up.
Here we have grown-ass man conversations in the spirit of that purpose.
Man up.
Anthony Malcolm, Bobby Drake, Major Gage.
Man up.
We are. This is Manifestations 2020.
Manifestations. Man up. Manifestations.